Hello and welcome to this section. In this section, we will learn service-related content. In this section, we mainly include two contents. First, we will talk about the definition of service, and then we will talk about the basic usage of service. First, let's take a look at the definition of service. Service is the medium to realize data interaction between high-code front-end application and back-end database. Its working principle is as follows: it is a service request initiated by the front-end end. The service is started and the processing requirements such as adding, deleting, modifying, and querying are transferred to the back-end. The processed results are returned through parameters. The front end can get the return parameters, running status, and so on through the service callback. We can understand the service in this image. We can compare the application at the front-end end to the customers who are ordering in the restaurant, and we compare the back-end database to the kitchen of the restaurant. Then the waiter is the waiter who records the point of one-way back-end transfer information for the customers and delivers the final dishes to the waiter at the customer table. For example, in such an ordering environment, our customer needs to choose his set meal, a maturity of his beef, and a sauce he needs. He called. The waiter told him, "I want a number 1 set meal, 7 break up, and then the sauce." After receiving the news, the waiter went to the cook and told the cook that our customer needs it a number 1 package, so what do you want to do? Then when he finishes his steak, drinks and side dishes, he takes such a series of return parameters to pass them to our customers, that is, our clients. You can think about it. Generally speaking, when we go to a restaurant to order, we ask the waiter to deliver them for us. Instead of going straight to the back kitchen to say what kind of content I want, the service is actually a hub connecting the front and back office, which is a very important knowledge point for us. If some of the students who started using our tools from IH5 may say that I used to be able to directly manipulate the database through the front end, why do I need to make a transfer through a service now? That is, our front and back end interaction is conducted through independent event, the communication efficiency is very low, and the front and back end data interaction is directly conducted, confidentiality very bad. The communication process may also be hijacked, and we cannot monitor the communication status. There may be data loss, communication process, accidental termination, etc., and this process cannot be monitored. After we use the service can carry a complete set of test papers with high reusability. For example, we have now set a login service, which can be directly applied to the same kind of cases. We only need to set different receiving parameters, and the data path of the return parameters can be more convenient and efficient. And through the service we isolated the front and the back, to a large extent, to avoid the data security problems caused by direct communication. Next, let's talk about the basic usage of services. Generally speaking, our service needs to define our receiving parameters. The so-called receiving parameters refer to the parameters received from the front end, and then the return parameters need to be defined. The return parameters refer to the parameters returned from the back end to the front end. Then we need to define a service action, that is, when we run the service, what kind of services it needs to carry out in the back-end operation of. Generally speaking, at the beginning of service design, we need to understand what kind of things such a service needs to do, whether to submit a data, update a data, delete data, or output data, or include the above series of actions. Next, we will explain our submitted data, update data, delete data, statistics, and our output data in sections.